Hey everybody, and welcome to Truck King. So, big day for me today. We're in Flint, Michigan at the General Motors plant. This is the Chevy line, and right behind me is my 3500 Chevy HD, and yeah, that's actually my truck. This is the one which is going to be married to the chassis. We're going to see that here shortly. And then stay tuned because we're going to continue to follow it all the way down the line. The GM assembly plant in Flint, Michigan opened in 1947 and has been in continuous production ever since. Looking at the building now, you can see its age, but that doesn't mean that it's not relevant. Every type of vehicle has been built here in the past 70 plus years, including the first year the Corvette was introduced. So the building may be old, but the technology used to assemble this latest generation of Chevy and GMC trucks is not. There are robots throughout the plant doing welding, painting, and the tricky job of joining panels and body parts. Here you can see the clean line of assembled bodies on their way to the paint shop. At this point, they're already running along the line in a predetermined order so as to match the color that they're going to be shot with. Watching the painting robots is hypnotic. They cover every inch of the body and they never miss a spot. That's how sophisticated the programming for these machines is. With paint complete, we actually get to see human workers start to install the interior in each truck. Again, each truck moves along the line in a sequence, and the workers are fed the right parts at exactly the right time to install in that particular truck. In the background, a small army of tow motor operators keeps the line fed with the parts needed for each build. You see them zipping through the plant, hauling parts carts, dropping them where needed just in time to meet the body as it's moving down the line towards them. Now the chassis makes its appearance. It's been running down a parallel line where workers have assembled the running gear, which arrives at the plant on a rail car, mostly already built. It's cool to watch the entire chassis then being flipped in the air by the robots. This allows the workers to do installs on the underside of the chassis without having to work over their heads. In fact, throughout the building process, the body and chassis are raised and lowered on the line to accommodate workers who do these repetitive jobs at each station. Each chassis has a build sheet attached to it. In fact, there are several sheets covering the chassis, the body, and the interior. These are specific to that truck only. Workers consult the sheets as they do their work, and then they sign off on them when they're complete. Side note, I asked for the sheets at the end of the line and I got them all, and I'll be keeping them at home. Next comes the heart of the truck, the engine. These Duramax diesels arrive at the Flint plant already built. Some 350 of them are needed every day. They're built over in Ohio, in Moraine, and trucked up to Flint every day. They make an impressive stockpile sitting on the floor, and it's hard to believe that every one of them are going to be used for just this day. So this is the heart of my new truck, the 6.6 liter Duramax with the Allison 10-speed transmission. And this is now putting out 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque, which is up from what I've got in my Cummins right now. Quite frankly, power was never really an issue, but listen, more is better. So take a look at that beast. I think that'll handle my 35-foot trailer really well. Now it's time to cram that diesel into the chassis. As you can see, the 10-speed Allison transmission is also in place, as are the drive shafts and the exhaust system. Watching the engines dangle overhead from the chain-driven line, it occurs to me that what you're seeing here really is a slice of history. New assembly plants don't use chain-driven lines, not overhead or in the floor, as they do here in Flint. This is old technology, but hey, if it ain't broke, there's no need to fix it. Now the chassis and the engine converge onto the same line, and workers start putting the engine into its new home, where it'll be for the rest of its life. You know, watching these guys, you've got to admire their skills. They know exactly what they're doing. The potential here for mistakes is huge, yet very rare. They check the sheets once again, and done. The chassis is ready for the body. Now the chassis takes a run up to the second floor, while the body remains below. The most impressive robot is coming very soon to perform the marriage of these two components. So now we're at the point on the assembly line where the marriage of chassis and body come together. So this is the church where we're going to get my cab, my box, and my chassis put together, and these gigantic robots are what's going to perform that ceremony. Please be gentle. And there you go. The entire cab is held by one robot, the box immediately behind it by the other robot. They're just waiting now for the chassis to come into position. All right, chassis is now in position. It's been slightly elevated, held in place, and the robots are doing their thing. Absolutely amazing. The precision that's required to do this job without any damage. And that's it. The wedding is over. They're all put together. Now as they roll forward, there's some other robots here. They're going to actually bolt everything together. As we move on down the line, the assembled truck still has lots of parts yet to be installed. And for the next part of this assembly, we see a lot more people doing the work. As you see my truck go by, well, it really is starting to look like a truck. Now I just need some wheels. Now the engine gets its oil, transmission fluid, some diesel, and DEF is added, because soon the 6.6 liter Duramax will come to life for the very first time. All right, so my truck is coming up here behind me. Powertrain, chassis, body, all been married together, all been screwed together. Interior's in, but as you can see, we still need fascia, bumper, radiator. Well, no, the radiator's there, but we need something on the front of it because that doesn't look very good. And then, of course, wheels, tires, and more running gear. That's heading over to the other side now, so watch it go by. It's actually starting to look like a truck. And then we're going to head that way. Now here I get involved, installing my tires. Well, the lug nuts anyway. With the wheels on and lugs torqued, we move on down the line. With the front end assembled, I get a chance to see my interior. Note how the line never stops. For the folks on the line, it must take some practice for them to do their work while having to walk along as the truck moves as well. So my truck's almost now down at the end of the line, but you know, I gotta mention, it's interesting that they build GMCs and Chevys on the same line here. So that's kind of a trick that they've got all that different parts and particularly trim work lined up to go. So here she comes. It's been easy actually to spot my truck all day long because it's one of the few red ones out here. It's amazing. White, black, gray. That's probably 90%, maybe even more of the colors out here. So, but everybody knows I gotta have a color. So there's the red. Now, truck is assembled. We've actually seen it start. I heard it start. The guy ran through the gears and he pronounced it perfect. Now we're going to final inspection. And in about 5 minutes, this truck will be ready to be shipped back home to Canada, where I'll be putting it to work. Yes, that's my truck actually driving off the line. Now we have to aim the headlights, check the alignment, and run into the final inspection booth where checks will be done on the dyno.
Got her all aligned, radio checked. Come in here and do some diagnostic. So we're in 4 low. It wants to check the differentials, make sure the gears match. Everything from air conditioning. Right here, it's going to check each corner on the braking. You know, the machine's doing it. Make sure your ABS is correct. Yeah, you got a clean build sheet. It had no issues.
Sweet.
Through the whole process. A good truck.
And that's it. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. A clean build sheet. Good truck, as my friend said. And I like how he patted my dash. The truck has now come out of the dyno room. We ran it through 4 low, 4 high, 2-wheel drive up to 70 miles an hour, tried all the systems, including the air conditioning, which will make Tracy happy. And now it's on the care line. This is a final group of guys who are going to go over the truck and look at all the little bits and pieces and make sure there's no smudges, there's no scratches, there's no last minute things that need to be fixed. And then just a little ways down here, it's going to go out the back door, and soon it'll be shipped to Canada. So that's it for this one, guys. Listen, really appreciate you coming along for the ride. I've enjoyed watching my truck being built, and I hope you have too. So before you leave, go below, hit like, hit subscribe, join, become a member of our channel, and remember to hit that bell for the notifications. And come back soon, because the truck will be at home and I'll be hooking up my 5th wheel, and we'll tell you all about that.